News from the Borderland. This is EPAS Unleashed. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to EPAS Unleashed. I'm your host, Jessica Navarro, and we have our claws out for cruelty this month with our special guest. We're going to be talking all about cruelty prevention or cruelty awareness month for April. We're specifically going to be focusing on cats. So we have some very special guests from our field and from one of our partners. So we're very excited to share with you all tips and all about community cats in our community. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our two guests. If you guys don't mind introducing yourselves and just a little bit about you and what your organization is.
Okay, my name is Patti Hack. Today I'm representing Sun City Cats. I actually work next door with Animal Services. I'm the scheduler for the community cats department in there. But yes, today I'm representing Sun City Cats. I actually I started as a Sun City Cats volunteer even before I started working for Humane Society. So yeah,
okay.
It's been a while.
Awesome. How long have you been with Sun City Cats?
Since 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Amazing. And you, Albert, I know that you have been on before, but
Right,
for those new listeners.
Right. So my name's Alberto Ortiz. I'm with Field Operations. I've been with the department a little bit over 13 years now. So yeah, no, I'm always glad to be here. Either be here on the cast or in real life out in the public at the events.
Yes.
But I'm always glad to lend an ear to the public and to provide as much information and be that resource to them.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for this episode. So this year, our focus for Cruelty Month is cats. And why do you guys think that that's very important this year to focus in on those cats?
Well, I believe with that recent, I'm going to say not recent, but I guess back in 24, there was that House bill that was passed, that helps protect not just the cats, but the colony managers, the TNR program itself in general. I believe we're heading in the right direction. It is a uphill battle. I'm going to say that for sure, and you can vouch for that, Miss Patti. But we're up to fight the good fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I mean, last year we our focus was on how cruelty is linked to like other forms of crime. And I know that we have seen, some cases with the cats, and it's important for the community to get involved, and if they see anything, to say something to us, because like we learned last year with our cruelty awareness month, it is linked, to human violence as well. So can you guys talk a little bit about that and how important it is for the community to report these things that they might see?
Right. So for the most part, like you had mentioned, any sort of abuse, neglect, to a pet, or not just to a pet, but to an animal, even as part of the community, it is linked to the household. Where there's, I guess, a lack of love. Let's put it in those words, or a lack of some TLC. There comes that negative, I guess, not mindset, but the bad tendencies and habits of aggressiveness, being neglectful, being, I guess, I know it sounds a little weird, but being selfish, of yourself only, and not worrying about the ones around you. Either be your kids, your pets, or even the cats in the community. The neighboring dog as well. But it is an uphill battle again, as I was saying, and I'm more sure Patti can chime in as well, that not only does it affect the household itself, but the trapping process, which in return probably affects, that household that is trying to trap or trying to feed. So.
Yes, and we always tell the people, we are their voice. Animals can talk. So they can tell us whether they're being abused, there's neglect. So the community, as you come out your door, you're going to see the little kitties out in the streets, and you can tell whether they're being taken care of or whether they're being abused. And so you have to, just call us, call animal services, call the Humane Society, call Sun City, call any other organization that helps animals. Just call somebody and let them know there's a problem and we need to go and take a look, see what's happening in there. But we are their voice. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other way to say it. You, the community, everybody can just speak for these animals and help them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important because animal control can't be everywhere. We
Yeah,
all of our,
exactly.
the animal welfare professionals can't be everywhere. We really depend on the community to speak up,
Yes.
and even if it ends up not being anything, maybe it's the animal is being taken care of. They just don't look like it because they're getting treatment or whatever the case may be. I think it's important for people to just still give us that heads up, like, so that we can go out there and check, and if everything turns out okay, that's better than just leaving it alone.
Right. No, like, yeah, like, like you both had mentioned that a lot of times, despite the complaint not, I guess, being unfounded and
Mm-hmm.
everything checking up to par, we don't mind, not
Yeah.
just ourselves, our animal services, but our sister agencies as well,
Mm-hmm.
of going out there and making sure that these animals are checking okay. We do appreciate the kindness and the heart of the folks that are calling in.
Mm-hmm.
We are appreciative of their concern for the well being of their pets, the neighboring pets, and the community pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's easy to say it and advise the people and try to educate them, in the sense of just call, you're not a burden,
Mm-hmm.
you're not a headache, you're not
Yeah.
that metiche, you're not that nosy neighbor. No, no, it's, and as a matter of fact, we're not going to call you that, but we appreciate that. We need that extra set of eyes,
Mm-hmm.
in the community, because we're at a population of 700,000, give or take, in El Paso. Our Department of Animal Services ourselves, we have an operations field team of, we're like at 34 officers, if anything. So
Mm-hmm.
we're outnumbered like 25,000 to one. So we do what we can. We try. We
Yeah.
appreciate it of Sun City Cats, the Humane, all these other nonprofit organizations. There's a lot of them to name them all, but we give them a big thank you, because aside from the public, they provide a lot of information to us as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. And yes, go ahead,
Yeah,
sorry.
I think that is also part of our quality of life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, quality of life also means that your animals, everybody has, it's okay. Not just the person, but like your streets are clean, your
Mm-hmm.
animals are taken care of. Your schools are good. All of that is a quality of life in a
Mm-hmm.
community, and animals being taking care of, that is part of that. That is part of the welfare of your community, the
Mm-hmm.
quality of life for a
Yeah,
community.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I guess on that, like, what can animal cruelty look like? Because sometimes, maybe the community is a little bit weary of giving a call because maybe they grew up and they had their parents have their dogs outside. I know I grew up in a household where they're just outside dogs, and they still kind of have like that mentality, but they know maybe that they shouldn't be outside, or maybe they should have certain things when they are outside. So can we talk a little bit about what animal cruelty can look like?
So it comes in all forms. I'll be real honest, and I think for the most part, I think our departments and in whole with the sister agencies that we have,
Mhm.
I think we've made the message clear, and I think the community knows exactly what is expected of them.
Mhm.
But I think, like you mentioned, I think there's just real hesitant on wanting a call
Mhm.
for the fear of retaliation,
Yeah.
or or I guess maybe just the sense of them being, being, talked to or spoken to by their family members or that neighbor,
Yeah.
like, I, you're being metiche again. No, you're
Uh-huh.
not being metiche. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, neglect, abuse can be seen in multiple. I guess there's multiple factors. Lack of water, lack of shelter. Like in the case of the cats, if you are going to participate in like the TNR program, be mindful of these animals being trapped in, depending of you to be transported.
Mhm.
To need that water, as well as for like the feeding of cats as well. Be sure, be mindful, of other pests, insects out there. You don't want to leave out food, and it become infested with yeah, with bugs for the parasite, or have birds come,
Mhm.
start, swarming in. They start defecating on the water.
Mhm.
At that point, their health, becomes a concern, cross contamination. So there's that type of neglect and abuse. Then you have like the real aggressive abuse,
Yeah.
which would be the torture, physical abuse, um, a simple act of abandonment as well is considered cruelty. I don't like the cats in my neighborhood. I'll trap them and just go dump them in the desert. Or I'll just go drop them off on the other side of town. No, that itself is also considered it's a it's cruelty itself. It's a form of abandonment. For the most part, like you had mentioned, we all grew up in this area, and the mindset that was taught to us as when we were kids was, oh, it's outside, it'll be all right. Just a bit of water, throw an occasional bone, some leftover food, um, and the mindset of, oh, the cats are hunters, they'll survive. Don't get me wrong, they are survivors. They are hunters, but there's no need to put them in a situation where you relocate them, God knows how many miles away, 18 miles away, into the setting that they don't know where the water source is at.
Yeah.
They don't know where that food source is at. So that itself is also a form of cruelty.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I know we see it a lot where, people don't want these community cats in their neighborhood and they will do that to get them out. And, it's really important for us to coexist because they're living beings. It's not their fault they were born outside. It's not, again, it's not their fault. It's their living creatures.
Not just that, they serve a purpose,
Yeah.
Cats, and now given obviously the area you live in, now if you live in a high volume residential area, compared to that, maybe the lower valley or in the farming community, they serve a purpose, insects, Mother Nature's pest control. That's the way we put it.
Yeah.
They will clean up a yard. They'll get rid of the roaches, little caterpillars. Oh yeah, no, they'll take care of all that stuff. Spiders as well. So they too have a purpose, like you said. On this planet of ours, and it's only our responsibility if we're going to live with them, coexist with them. Might as well, be nice to them, be kind to them. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of abandonment because people think that cats will make it. When they leave, they go move from the city somewhere else. They leave the cat. He can take care of himself. It's a cat. He knows how to trap birds and stuff. And that is not true whatsoever. There's a lot of poor cats that suffer so much because it is not true. If they were born in a house and lived all their life in a house, they're not going to be the same as a feral cat or stray or community cat. They cannot really hunt. They just suffer. They got beat up by the other cats. There's some of them. It is not true. That's not true that they can live. By themselves.
That is a good point. These cats that are either 50-50 inside and out, people move out. They get rehomed, they get reassigned on their duties, their work, or for other reasons. And then as mentioned, naturally they are. We call them a hunter. But if their whole life, you got a 5-year-old cat that spent 4 years inside. That 1 year, of it, being born outside or feral, or maybe all 5 years were inside the house. It's going to be obvious that this cat won't be able to survive out there. He'll manage to a point, but nonetheless, this cat isn't going to be able to distinguish the difference between any sort of dangers.
Yeah.
I get a little thirsty. They see a container with some liquid in there. And I guess with all due respect to all of our backyard mechanics and everything that tend to leave a little bit of antifreeze, leave the oil running down the sidewalk or the water. These cats will get to it, not knowing that it's a danger to them. So that itself, we have to be mindful of that. And not only as a pet owner, to be mindful that you're going to place these felines in a situation where, survival mode is going to turn into, pretty much like a death trap. It sounds ugly, it sounds real harsh, but they just pretty much leave them out to die. And also for the community, be mindful. If you see a neighbor house becomes vacant and it's inactive, give us a call, give Sun City a call. We'll be more than glad to help the situation and then better the quality of life of these animals. And then at that point, we'll canvas, knock on a couple of doors, educate the public as well. We can make that. I guess we can turn an abandonment to a win-win situation for all parties involved.
Yeah. I mean, these cats that have lived inside, they depend on us. They get used to it. They get comfy, you know. They start to really, okay, well, I'm gonna get food from my owners, you know, and then you change their whole world by just leaving them there outside, and now they don't remember how to they you know they don't know how to be a cat, an outside cat, because they got so comfortable being indoors and depending on us. And there's always help out there. And if you are, you know, being relocated, you have to, you know, leave your cats behind, or even your dogs, we have resources available for the community. And it might take some time. So always, of course, have a game plan for your animals, because they are a lifelong commitment, but we understand that sometimes it's just not feasible to keep them. But there is a lot of resources available. There should never be an abandonment of these animals.
Correct.
Yeah. And on that, I guess when a cruelty call does come in, how does that look? Can you walk us through like the process of if somebody is calling, what should they be looking for to give you that I guess good information so that we could, you know, build a case on that.
So, like I said, there's just so many factors to take
Mm-hmm.
into consideration, but the more information the public is able to provide to us, the better. Given that we will turn every stone that we have to.
Mm-hmm.
We will look at every video clip that we have to.
Mm-hmm.
We will visit as many properties, streets, businesses, and like I said, we'll look at minutes, hours worth of video footage,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to try to solve this I guess this act of harm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess the obvious would be any sort of distress, pain being being vocalized by the animal,
Mm-hmm.
either be the cat or a dog. You, you don't have to be an animal expert to understand the difference between a dog barking and you know and vocalizing, you know, joy to that of pain. You know, it's no
Mm-hmm.
different to a person as well. Yeah, there's a certain pitch that comes out of their mouth that
Mm-hmm.
you just have that grinch and that I guess that gut feeling that okay, there's
Mm-hmm.
something that's going on wrong. Now, automatically, any sort of cry of that type, it's a cry of help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, anything along those lines, any sort of crying, obviously body deformities, active bleeding, physical exterior trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's the obvious. Now, the animal being lethargic, you know, disoriented, not having that normal activity of a cat, the meowing, the purring. Now, if you run into a cat that you see on a regular basis, for example, can't get over a rock wall or can't climb up that one tree that's always in,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so something's wrong with it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
um, be mindful there's multiple factors, but nonetheless, if you sense or have a little bit of information that okay, there's a somebody in this neighborhood that's not a fan of cats, automatically you're going to think, okay, maybe someone's putting out some sort of poison or something to try to target these animals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, little things of that nature, the lethargicness, that not, I guess the lack of awareness from the cats, and as well for the dogs, any other animal, you know, the abnormal activities for them. Um, that itself is the obvious
Mm-hmm.
when you run into cruelty or when you want to report a cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, inactive homes, like I mentioned right now, inactive homes, or there's no activity. You know, I haven't seen anybody. You know, for a couple of days, couple of weeks. The dogs are, I guess, not completely unresponsive, but yeah, the activity or the daily activities of the dog isn't there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
unkept yards, unkept households, the mailbox. It's ready to rupture like a volcano of just mail being piled up,
Yeah.
items of that nature. The trash can, the trash bin not being moved out or being left on the side curb for weeks on end. You know, there's just a few of the items that I guess people can look at and take into consideration to see if there's any sort of, I guess, I'm not going to say harmful act, but I guess we can say
Mm-hmm.
some sort of a cruelty or suspicion
Mm-hmm.
that something's going on, something's not right, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And is there anything that they can do to like help you with your case? Like any, should they be taking
oh,
pictures? Should
pictures
they?
and yes, pictures and video that's key. That's gold as we call it around here.
Yeah.
That's yes, because not that statements aren't suffice, and that's not that our officers or our public is incredible, but Going back to my elementary days, the picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And even now, as an adult, I can see and understand when they would, when I was in art class, they tell me, Albert, be sure to put some plenty of detail in there, because I want this picture to tell me a story.
Yeah.
And so upon investigation with our department and with our team, if we got 20, 30, 40, 100 pictures and we got minutes of video, we can tell a story, based off these pictures. We can dictate the act itself, the location of it, the times, the hours, the address of where the incident occurred, who did the harm, what direction they traveled. But yes, videos, pictures, that is gold around here. And a strong statement. And if they're willing to step up and provide a statement with us, and not just verbally, but like written as well, we'll be more than glad to help them out as well. That's only going to allow us, I guess, civilly at a civil hearing, and it's also going to help the criminal aspect part of it as well.
Yeah. So pictures, videos, license plates, anything, any description, anything.
Yes, and I know it sounds funny, but I guess not one of the trainings, but something I repeat a lot with officers that are either just oncoming new officers or like even the veteran officers of 15, 20 years. I just remind them, I need you to give me as much information as you can, that way it's going to allow us, let's say if the plates don't hit, they're not a match, because either the plates might belong to a car that has been sitting in someone's backyard for months, years, the vehicle description color of it, description of the person themselves as well, height, weight, clothing, top and bottom. I guess no different if you're gonna call in a bank robbery,
Yeah.
So, pretty much, yes. If maybe they're not robbing a bank with a gun, maybe they're not poisoning cats with a gun, but nonetheless, you provide us as much information as you can, and we'll do the legwork when it comes to trying to figure out who this person is.
Yeah, and we always want the community to be safe when,
sure.
If they don't feel comfortable, as much information as they can is going to be, beneficial for the case. But of course, we don't want them to put themselves in danger or anything.
Right. We do advise them, keep a safe distance. We do have a lot of, I guess, brave folks here in El Paso that will confront those folks. They will confront them, and we appreciate their blood. Their effort, but nonetheless, be real careful when you approach it.
Yeah.
Be real careful with your video as well. If you're being accompanied by your family, your little kids, your loved ones, be mindful of that. Don't put them in a situation where they might become hurt or become a target down the road.
Yeah.
As well. But at any point, if you have information and don't want to give us your name, we can't force anybody to provide us their name and the phone number, but nonetheless, remain anonymous and we'll take it from there. Now, maybe if you're not willing to testify yourself, but we canvassed the area, we found, a couple of houses down, someone's willing to testify. And at that point, that first lead and tip is going to lead us to a secondary witness.
Yeah. And for Sun City Cats, can you talk about what the organization is, and what kind of work do you do?
Okay. Yes. So we are an all volunteers that work in this group. And what we do is TNR. Mainly, that's our main thing. We are not a rescue. We don't foster, adopt anything. We just TNR.
Okay.
But just doing TNR, that there's so many things that go into the TNR, not just the trap, neuter, and return part, which is what we help the community with. But I mean, when you go into a colony and you start trapping, you see a lot of things there. You might find orphan kittens.
Yeah.
You might find a cat that is about to have babies. You can find injured animals, and so we cannot just turn our head and just do dinner and go home.
Yeah.
We just can't. I mean, you trap an animal that has an injured leg that can't even walk, you have to treat them. I mean, you have to. Sometimes we trap mamas and we take them to the clinic, and when we uncover the trap, she's having babies.
Oh no.
Yes, that has happened. So what do? You have to take her back, and then you have to find someone to foster her until the babies are old enough, and all of that. So it's not just TNR. There's a lot of things. You have cruelty cases. They partner with animal services, and so they call and say, there's several cats here. They need to be, taken care of. So we do that as well. We are a liaison. We, like I said, we are not a rescue organization. So we have to talk to a lot of partners.
Yeah.
We have to talk to a lot of people, even out of state, to help us with some of the cases. Sometimes there's cases of kitties that need specialized attention, medication. So we have to reach out to different organizations that can help us. And so, yeah, we work with we work with Humane Society, with Animal Services, with the officers, with other like FOSPs, with sanctuaries outside the state. A lot of moving parts. So it's not just TNR. Yeah, it's good, but underneath that TNR, there's a lot of things that you cannot walk away from. You have to deal with it, and so that's the job.
Yeah, it would be easy if it was just, well,
Yes,
maybe
it would
not
be
too easy, but it would be, a little bit easier on you all if it was just that, specific, just the trap, neuter, and return aspect. But like you said, with that, it comes.
It comes a lot, and we try it. We teach the community how to do the TNR, because, like he said, I mean, they cannot do everything, and as we can be everywhere, we're volunteers, so we do this after we our jobs. We have to go and take care of our families and all that stuff, and then we take care of the TNR and stuff. So we can be anywhere. I mean, the community has to step up and do what they can for the community. So we train them how to do this stuff, but there's some people like elderly people, they can't do it. There's some handicapped people as well that they also cannot trap, they cannot transport, or there's people that will help us trap, but they don't have transportation. So we have to help with the transportation, and we have to help with the trapping for those people, like the elderly, the handicapped, and all that. So it's a lot involved. A lot involved.
No, and I think that's amazing that you guys are volunteers, and I think it's important for the community to know that, because you all do so much work helping out these cats, and you still have a job, you still have a family, you still have all of this. This is just, on pretty much your free time when you do all of this. So I think it's really important for the community to know that, because they should also get involved, and they should at least, get involved in some way if they are going to have, these complaints, or if they really want to make a difference in animals' lives, is, they can help you guys out, or they can help us out, or they can help, some sort of way. There's always, even if it's the smallest of ways, it's still going to benefit you all, or us, or Humane Society, or all these other organizations that are also doing this on their free time, or just need that extra set of hands from the community.
Yes, and I might say that I mean, the community, it's a good community. They do we have so many calls, so many that sometimes, I mean, it's hard to get to all of the calls. But it's because the people, they want to step up. They want to, they say, we don't mind the cats being here, but we just do not want the population to expand. I can keep 5, 6 in my backyard, but that's it. I mean, we just need a little bit more resources, like spay neutering. I know, our organizations that we partner with, I mean, they do as much as they can. They do as much, but there is a lot more need for like spay neutering services and medical services for the community cats, or but the community, it is helping. They help a lot. I mean, we do like almost 2,000 cats a year.
Oh, wow.
Like every week, every month.
That's a lot.
I mean, from 2013 when we started to today, it's gonna be more than 30,000 cats
Oh
altogether.
wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Means
That's amazing.
there's a lot, but yeah. So the community keeps coming, and they trap, they come, and also our volunteers. I mean, we have about 40 volunteers and um, trappers, transporters. That they do a lot of work. I mean, they're great. Our volunteers are so great. I mean, they're 12 o'clock at night, they're trapping, 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
they're driving out to Socorro,
Uh-huh.
5:30 to be there at 6 and
Mhm.
on their weekends and stuff. So that's a lot of work they do. So
Mhm.
they're great. So they've helped us a lot to get all these cats spayed and neuter, and like I said, it's work with everybody because I mean without animal services, humane society, the vets that give us some discounts,
Mhm.
without them, where are we gonna be doing this spay neutering and stuff for all of these cats? So yeah, it's a community effort. Yeah.
For sure, yes, and I'm glad to hear that the community is getting involved, and I hope that with this episode, people that might be interested and they don't know how to get started, can reach out to help, because, like you said, it is really a community effort, and it's something that I feel like a lot of the community don't know the importance of TNR.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can speak a little bit about that, and I know that sometimes when I'm out in the community and I'm, talking to somebody, once I tell them like all the
Mhm.
benefits of it, they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do that so that we can keep that population down. And so, if you can talk a little bit about why TNR is so important and all the benefits that come with it.
So it's yeah, very important. First of all, because the spay neutering, so you keep the colony small,
Mm-hmm.
without the overpopulation. Second is great for the welfare of the cats, for their health. The males are not going to be fighting. We see a lot of males with really terrible injuries from
Mm-hmm.
fighting
Mm-hmm.
within, because of the females and stuff. So yeah, getting them spay neuter also help them get less like testicular cancer. The females, also get more healthy without having so many babies
Yeah.
every 4 months, 5 months. They have
Mm-hmm.
another litter, so that helps with that. Second, all the the smells from the
Mm-hmm.
urine from the males when they're marking, that goes away. All the nuisance at night,
Mm-hmm.
the sounds of the cats fighting or mating and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, because a lot of people call me and say it's terrible the sound they make, and I say yes.
They're fighting on my roof.
Yeah, they're
I'm
fighting on
like,
my
oh,
roof
not
and
fighting.
irritated. Yes, so all of that is going to stop with the spay neutering, right?
Mhm.
And then once you TNR all the cats that you have in a colony, all that sounds and stuff that stops, all the fighting stops. The
Mhm.
cats just live like nicely in a
Mhm.
community, and then you're not gonna have any more babies.
Mhm.
So those cats start, dying with old age and stuff like that. Some of them they get run over, unfortunately, or
Mhm.
get attacked by a dog or something, and so they're gone. But then your colony starts getting smaller and smaller, and then that's it. The cats that live there are gonna be living happily, healthy, no
Mhm.
problems. And then you're not gonna have any more cats coming in, because the cats that remain, they're gonna protect the territory. They're
Yeah.
territorials. I mean,
Yes.
I have a female in my house that is
Mhm.
super territorial.
Mhm.
She was a feral that brought in some kittens to my house. So she stayed, the kittens went to homes. But man, she's fierce. So nobody gets to my backyard because she's like, so
Yeah.
yes, that's what's going to happen. So that is good. That's TNR is good for everybody, the cats, your neighbors, yourself. And everybody does that, then there's no problems in the community with the cats.
Yeah, it does its job. That's the whole purpose of TNR is if everybody participates and gets these cats fixed, then it's just better for the community. They'll live out their lives, and then the population will be controlled.
Yeah,
So it definitely is important to participate. And how can the community maybe get involved with your organization if maybe they want to help?
The best way to reach Sun City Cats is by email.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the phones are always full.
Yeah.
Because we take turns taking care of the coast. But yeah, there's so many, and we doing trapping, we're doing this, that, and the other. But email is the best. help@suncitycats.org. That's the best way you can reach us, or send us a message through Facebook as well. That can work. Or you can go to our website, send us a message through our website at suncitycats.org.
Okay.
But yeah, email will be the preferable, way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hope that some people reach out to help you all out because you're doing amazing work. That's a lot of cats that you guys have fixed since the organization has started. So that's something to be proud of because that really does help out a lot. And I think with that, we kind of spoke about education. I guess with both of you all, how important is education with the community about not only community cats and animal cruelty, just, pet care in general? Just how important is education and in the community?
So I believe education is key. Not only as I guess for the pet care portion of it, but just to the quality of life. When you do your role, when you participate, and as they say, is when you're able to keep up with your responsibilities at your household, either it be by the means of pet care, not only for yourself but for your children as well, for your parents as well. That's I want to say that's I guess that's the most important thing. That is that you educate yourself, take the time, invest the time to want to know, invest the time to participate not only at your house but with the community programs that that we offer, outreach programs, flag down an officer that's rolling down your street. That's only going to allow you to better your quality of life, the pets' quality of life, the neighborhood's quality of life. So I believe that setting aside a little bit of that pride and ego that the community itself, that the borderland holds, because pet owner responsibility has always been a challenge here. When I started here more than 13 years ago, I found out relatively quick on, I'm gonna say about day 5 of working here, that pet owner responsibility is going to be our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I'm still here. It's 2026, and I'll again say that pet owner responsibility is going to be our biggest challenge, maybe for the next 10 to 15 years, if not. But yeah, we just got to take the time. We have to invest the interest, invest the time, and do it as a family. Not just single yourself out. Don't get on your phone and Google it. No, participate. There's a lot of hands-on programs, engagement programs that are going on in the city, not just with us, but through libraries as well, other city departments. If you live in a housing community, I know, as a matter of fact, that housing itself also participates in a lot of these programs as well. The schools, yes, our departments, career days, items of that nature. Just this past weekend, I believe there was an event down, or here, as a matter of fact, if I'm mistaken,
yes, our kitten shower.
Yeah, we had a kitten shower, and yeah, no, the programs are there, the events are there. Just take that time, invest that time to better your knowledge, and in return, she'll affect that of your children as well to live a better, I'm not gonna say an educated life, but be conscious, of what's out there, what's expected us as humans, and to do our part, when it comes to these animals that can't speak for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And I bring up education because I think both of you are out there in the community and you're doing a lot of education, because there's just people that just don't know. They were brought up a certain way and that's what they learned. And, now we're trying to kind of backtrack and teach them, oh, well, actually, that's not right. This is right. And we're not here to judge anybody. Everybody was brought up their own way. When I started working here, there was a lot of things that I learned that, I hadn't done for my whole life. And I was unaware of. And so we're not, here to judge anybody. And I know that a lot of, resources are needed for the community that will help them get to be a better, pet owner. So that's why, I brought up education, because I think that you both do a lot of educating in the community. All the volunteers at Sun City, I'm sure you guys get a lot of people that don't know what TNR is, or they don't know that, a clipped ear means that they've already been through the program. They're good to go. And I'm sure with officers as well, there's so many I didn't know that my pet was supposed to have a microchip, or whatever the case may be.
I can go to Walmart. I'm not going to say I do that out of mistake, but when I do, get off the clock and I do make a small visit at the grocery store, in uniform, either it'd be the cashier,
they run up to you,
or walking down an aisle, they're like, "Oh, man, disculpe, I got a question for you,"
Yeah.
and I'll be more than glad to answer. And a lot of times, like, "Oh, it's because we see you guys, but I was que pena, it's embarrassing." I say, "No," and that's what I say, that there's no need to. No one's gonna judge you, When you're asking a question, no one's gonna judge you, and if your question is meant and it comes from a good heart, then we're going to provide you the education, that resource to put that good, the goodness in your heart to work, And as mentioned before, it's only going to allow the program, our programs, the ordinance itself to actually make an effect. You had mentioned that there's multiple moving parts earlier, and I like that, that in order to have a successful, not just in our program, our field operations, but to have a good, successful community with good quality of life, just all these parts and all these people and all these members have to be doing their part to be able to have a good mobile, community, stable community, educated community, considerate community, and I think that education, obviously, you've probably been told this in school. I was told this in school. You were told in schools, the education, and not just kids, but students in general are the future of tomorrow, and maybe educating a third generation, and then with all due respect, well, it's a third generation, but nonetheless, they can go home and speak to their grandkids and say, look, mira, mijo, they gave me this at the Senior Citizen Center. They gave me this, that down at the library. Because at that point, obviously, it takes an effect, to the kids, and you guys know kids that will talk up a storm, and before you know, they're talking to their teacher. They, oh, my grandma, we do cats, and we do TNR,
and it spreads like wildfire.
And it spreads like a wildfire. Yeah, and a lot of times people do take part in these events or these type of activities, but they don't speak it because they're afraid and they're ashamed. Like, what are they gonna think, that I'm just a cat feeder? No, you're more than just a cat feeder. You are, you're part of the solution. That's what you are. You're an effective member of the society and in the community. And our hats off to the people of El Paso that do take part already in this. To all volunteers, trust me, because I've seen the units that she mentioned, midnight, 5 a.m. Trust me, when I was started here, I was working a graveyard position, from sundown to sun up, and I recall seeing, the trappers out there and they're feeding, at 12:30 midnight, 5 a.m. And when I say every part of town, it's in every part of town. But nonetheless, we back off, get on their space, we respect what they're doing, and obviously we know it's for that one same end goal, to improve the quality of life of the pets in the community.
Yeah. No, it's amazing work that I hope the community does know, because you all do so much for the community, and so does field operations. You guys are out there and you're really educating and changing the future. So I just really wanted to bring up that education side, because I think both of you all do a lot within our community, and we might not see it now, but we will see it in the future because of all the different things that you guys are doing. And with that, is there anything else that you all would like to share about Community Cats, your organization, how the community can help, anything about Animal Cruelty Month?
Just also, well, this comes into like education, but changing the perception of the cat lady, the crazy cat lady, and because it's not just crazy cat ladies, there's a lot of crazy
cat
men. Yes, we have a lot of men volunteers, And I talk to a lot of, with my work with Humane Society, and then my work as a volunteer with Sun City, I talk to so many people, and a lot of them are men, and they do feed the cats. They worry about the babies, and I mean, and it's not, a crazy cat lady is no longer that old lady that is crazy about the cats. No, there's all types of
Ages.
yes, all types of
Oh,
ages, all types of, from doctors, dentists, to the old lady across the street,
Yeah.
it's a cat. So, yeah, that's something that is no longer true. It's just, and the more you talk about it, then yeah, some people are afraid to say, "Oh, I feed cats," or "I take care of these cats." They're hiding, they're afraid, but there's no longer. I don't think you should be ashamed or afraid, or you are helping the community. You're doing something for the community, for your neighborhood, for everything. So it's not shameful to say that you help animals anymore, especially the cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And like on that note, I think it's, and I say with all due respect, because I myself am from the borderland here, but I think the borderland culture is what inflicts a little bit of shameness to yourself. Like, but what am I doing? But what are my kids gonna think? What are my parents gonna think? Or yeah, what are my coworkers gonna say? But I think it's just that ego and pride that we have,
Yeah.
here on the borderland. It's good to a degree in certain aspects, but when it comes to these animals that depend of us, either by means of resource or being that voice for them, yeah, we gotta toss that aside. We have to toss it aside 100% for best interest of all these animals that depend on us. It's only the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I thank you guys both so much for everything that we discussed, for all the hard work that you both do, because I know you all are constantly helping the community, helping the animals in the community, and it's something that can be overlooked by our community sometimes because they don't see you all out there at midnight, helping out the cats, or on your days off when you should be at home resting, but you're out there helping the cats and helping the community. So for both of you, I just thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule, to come here and to talk about all that you do, and I hope the community can see how passionate you both are for everything that animal welfare comes with, because it can be hard to be in animal welfare. We see the worst of people, but we also see the best of people. So I just want to thank you guys both for coming on and joining us for this episode. I think that the community is going to really enjoy hearing about everything that you all do, and hopefully they know a little bit more about cruelty with animals, and about, of course, Sun City Cats, and how they can get involved to help out the animals, because there are so many animal lovers here in El Paso, and so many passionate people here in El Paso that love animals, and they maybe don't know everything, and now with this episode maybe they'll learn a little bit more, and then they can be our little educators as well, and go out in the community and talk about all that they learned. So thank you guys so much.
For the invite.
Right, for sure. And yeah, like you were saying right now, I think resorting to our I guess on the educational part, or wanting to participate not only with nonprofits or volunteer programs, but with animal services. It's on social media, it's on there, whichever platform you choose or to utilize. Yeah, you'll see us there. Just take the time. Not don't just don't just be scrolling up and down. Actually play the audio, read the caption, read the comments. The community is full of good-hearted folks. It's beyond. It's incredible the amount of good hearted that's out there, the kindness that's out there. But I think a lot of people just need a little bit of extra, a little bit of that little push to get them inside the door and say, okay, come on in. So you're good. So we'll take care of you. We'll educate you. So be part of us. Because we're all fighting the good fight.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much, and we hope to see you next time. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. reach out if you ever have any questions. And we hope that the community gets involved and that you enjoy this episode. We'll see you next time.